gotta find. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. Now what do we do? That's the first clue. We gotta find.
僕はセックス大好きいつもセックス毎日やりたいセックスチンコをマンコに入れたいなあー気持ちいいな入れたい鼻血が出るほどいいマンコは気持ちいいぬるぬるしていいプルンプルンもしもしセックス please 僕はセックス大好きチンコが硬い I love セックス I love you でもやっぱりマンコが一番ぬるぬる毎日入れたいな別のは何も入れたいかもしれないな I love セックス every day 僕はセックス大好き一番大好きセックスやりたいな少しだけマンコをペロペロ少しだけマンコをペロペロ少しだけマンコをペロペロ少しだけマンコをペロペロ僕はセックス大好きいつもセックス毎日やりたいセックスチンコをマンコに入れたいなあー気持ちいいな入れたい僕はファミリーマートで立ち読み毎日セックスマジやりたい Give me セックス僕はセックスやりたい生麦生米生ハメ中出し中出し中出し大好き中出し中出し中出し大好きもしもしセックス please I love セックスもしもしセックス please I love セックス僕はチンコをマンコに入れてルルルルルルルルしたいんだよルルルルルルルル美味しいマンコルルルル美味しいマンコ僕はセックス大好きいつもセックス毎日やりたいセックスチンコをマンコに入れたいなあー気持ちいいな入れたい僕はセックス大好きいつもセックス毎日やりたいセックスチンコをマンコに入れたいなあー気持ちいいな入れたい
Wow, I hit the wrong button. Oh my god. Fail, 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 fail. Anyways, I was saying, we know the rules of engagement here, guys. Also, good morning. We know the rules of engagement here. I am going to have to react to Harman for a minimum of 2 hours. Every $50 donated is another half an hour added to the timer. If we hit the goal of 1K, I have to read a Harman fanfic on stream. If we hit the goal of 1500, I have to perfect a really shitty game of the community's choice on stream. And if we hit 3K, I have to read another of Harman's books on stream, cover to cover. And that could be the new one that's coming out, depending upon when that comes out. That'll also be at your discretion. But good morning, everybody. I will try to be as lively as I possibly can. I feel like absolute fucking ass. And this weekend is going to be pain. Not in a bad way, but I'm going to be busy, so do not expect a whole lot of pizzazz tomorrow night, because I won't be streaming in the morning tomorrow. I will be going to an event. Anyways. First thing we have from Harman is anime is unattractive to women. Gee, I wonder why. And before we get going, I'm going to say hello to everybody. Good morning, Captain Price II. Good morning, Edge Shadowbearer. Good morning, Dragon Knight, Dragonborn. Good morning, Grizzly. Good morning, Oleander. Good morning, Peter Herc. Good morning, Neo J. Good morning, Grizzly. Good morning, Todd LaCroix. Good morning, Mashtix. And I think that's about it. Okay, let's begin and fucking die inside. Well, start stretching, Mashtix. Start stretching. Start stretching. Let's get into it. Really? This is it? You're not talking? You're just showing a screen, Harman? That's all you're doing? Good morning, Piplup.
Let me try something here. I love anime! Who are you?
Oh my god, the AI is real. Hi, Quiet Tribe. The AI is real. Because you could tell when it stops being actually him. There is where the AI starts. Harman, you are fucking stupid. You are so beyond stupid. If you thought this was funny, it's not. Also, you want to know why anime is unattractive to a lot of women? Because if you've ever been to a convention, especially Anime Expo, you motherfuckers smell horrible because you don't fucking shower and you don't wear deodorant. I can guarantee you. Me right now, dying inside. Thank you for the 5, Edge Shadowbearer. I may have autism and struggle talking to people in general, especially women, but I'm not actually stupid like Harman. Hopefully we are all not stupid like Harman. But like I was saying, Harman, they would probably hate you in Japan. You want to know why? Because in Asian countries, especially Eastern Asian countries like Korea, China, Japan, they have genetics where they don't have body odor and they don't sweat nearly as much as we do. So you know what happens when stinky American, stinky gaijin, goes to fucking Japan? They run from you because you stink. You stink here, but over there, you are puke-worthy. Just so you know that, Harman.
Who are you people? How'd you get into my house?
Can't even sync your lips up properly. No woman wants you, Harman. You smell. And here we go. This is what I was talking about. Black Cat Books direct the cattle have fangs. And let me guess. If I were to, I don't know, hazard to guess what this is in regards to, this is probably a follow-up to American Evil. Because what other book do I know of so far that has cattle in it? It's probably going to be that. Let's find out. Also, Harman, I hope you saw my response to your delusional comment. Your writing sucks. I didn't enjoy any of that. None whatsoever. You got one up on me. You got one good comment from me. That entire time I streamed that for over 10 hours. One. Matchsticks. I said earlier, the rules of engagement for the punishment stream is that I have to react to Harman for 2 hours straight because I lost a bingo game to Dez. That is the rules of engagement. It starts as 2 hours. With every $50 donation or total or more, if we hit $50, I have to add another half hour to that. Time till the suffering ends, yes. But I digress. Also, like and share the stream. You say it's not worth it, but I don't have a choice. I lost a bet and I lost a bingo game, so I have to do it. So, don't have a choice. Anyways, Black Cat Books direct The Cattle Has Fangs. Matchsticks, do I have to keep repeating myself? I lost a bet. The loss for the bet is that I have to do the punishment stream with the timer. That is the punishment. Do you need me to repeat it again? Because I'll repeat it a 4th time. Actually, it would be the 5th time because I've already said it 4 times. I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't have the obligation to. Don't have a choice. But if I'm going to make it fun for myself, I'm at least going to make money off of it. Anyways, let's go.
Hello. This is Harman Smith, the author of The Upcoming Cattle Have Fangs, and today...
You can't do this in one take? How many jump cuts do we want to guess he's going to have? How many jump cuts do we want to guess that he's going to have? Because I'm sure it's going to be a lot. Hmm.
If you liked it, then you should have put a leash on it. If you liked it, then you should have put a leash on it. Don't be mad once you see that they want it. Cause if you liked it, then you should have put a leash on it.
Thank you again for the 5, Edge Shadow Bear. I mean, seriously, just putting on deodorant or antiperspirant every day and showering at min 2 days makes you 10 times more attractive than people who don't. Agreed. I agree. I did see that sea stars pop up. I'm going to move it. I'm going to move it to where is it at? Art promo. I'm going to move it to art promo, but everybody's going to at least have seen it. It's hilarious. Yes, it is. That is very hilarious. The Sonichu, or not the Sonichu, the Pamper Chew t-shirt is it's a great touch. That is a great touch. That is a great touch. I love it. I love it. At least 20 plus. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely gonna be that much. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
Today, I would like to take some time to talk to you about the project. The Cattle Have Fangs is a dystopian fantasy novel set.
Dystopian? You mean dystopian? Dystopian. Not dystopian. Dystopian. Harman. You can write as well as you can speak, and that's not at all.
Set in a Californian city, a fictional place called Summer City. The novel follows the
Summer City. Yeah, you still can't name shit properly. You come up with really terrible names for things.
story of the antagonist, Phil Finger, as
Phil Finger. Phil, fuck my life. Is more like it. God, you suck.
he attempts to absolutely subjugate and control the city and its population. Phil Finger is the head of a major corporation who uses his power and influence to control people to an extent.
Why did you have to pause between that? You mean our state, Grizzly. You mean our state. I know he doesn't know a damn thing about California either, because he clearly can't write for shit. How much do you want to bet there's going to be some really gross, really disgusting fetish shit in it? Harvard makes me feel like a Harvard grad in terms of intelligence. Yeah. Yeah. He makes us all feel so much smarter. And why are you standing in the sun? Why are you standing with the sun in your eyes? What you couldn't also, hold on. Pause game is perfect. Pause game is perfect. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. Pause game on fleek. You couldn't have gone to an area where you have enough light, but you're not having it in your eyes. I know, Oleander. It sounds terrible. It sounds so terrible. And why did you have to pause between that? Do you not... You look like you're reading something. Do your glasses need to be cleaned up? Do you need new glasses? Do you need a new prescription? Because it looks like it.
That has never been seen before in the history of man. However, his power is not absolute, and in spite of his wealth and influence, many people rise up and begin to rebel against him. The story was very heavily influenced by Joker 2020.
Harman, you're gonna butcher this, aren't you? Because you don't understand. You do not understand any story that you read. You don't understand the nuances. You don't understand the concepts. Let's see how you're gonna fuck this one up.
In which a nobody, someone who has a lot of personal problems and severely mentally handicapped, manages to incite an uprising in the population of his city.
So you didn't understand the movie. So you didn't understand the movie. It sounds like you had the understanding of Joker's Folie à Deux, which was terrible. Oh my god, kill me. Not really YouTube.
Joker, in a lot of ways, is more than a simple Batman story. And it was with that concept in mind.
It wasn't even a Batman story, you absolute buffoon. It was a story about another universe's version of Joker. Oh my god.
That I approach The Cattle Have Fangs, which is, in my mind, kind of a spiritual successor to it, in which it follows a lot of the same themes and ideas, and yet takes them to their spiritual successor.
Hold on.
In which it follows than a simple Batman story. And it was with that concept in mind that I approached The Cattle Have Fangs, which is, in my mind, kind of a spiritual successor to it.
You think anything you could write is a spiritual successor to the masterpiece that Joaquin Phoenix put together. To that masterpiece of a movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. You could never.
In which it follows a lot of the same themes and ideas, and yet takes them to their natural conclusion.
And that is what? What are the themes? What are the themes of the movie? Can you explain them to me properly? Because I highly doubt you can. Good morning, Key to Darkness. Also, good morning, Battle Puppet.
Have not chickened out in regard to certain topics like the creators of that film did.
They didn't chicken shit out of anything, you absolute fuckwad. They told a masterful story. And the fact that you're saying they chicken shit out on covering these particular topics that you have no understanding of tells me that you definitely don't take them to the natural conclusion. Because you couldn't even fathom what they are. Because you have the brain power of a child. Actually, that is very much an insult to children, because I know so many children that are more intellectually sound than you.
Cattle Have Fangs at its core is a refutation of the
Morning, DKD.
A friendly billionaire archetype. Like, oh, that guy with money is going to save us. No.
Are you stupid? That isn't even a question. You are stupid. You are stupid. We know this. Also, we're $40 away from making me add 30 minutes at a timer, just so y'all know. Just so you know. But actually, I'll add another 30 minutes if we get to the 400 mark. I'll add another 30 minutes, just so that I can keep myself on topic and I don't have to do math. Exactly. Joker was brutal, but it was brutal with a purpose. With a porpoise, Harman. You are a waste of oxygen.
The reality of the situation
I have not watched her, but I have heard of what it's about, yes.
Is we are going to have to save ourselves.
You couldn't save yourself from a paper bag on top of your face. So what would you know about having an uprising amongst the people against a billionaire? You don't.
And that has always been the case. That will always be the case. Other people will not help you. And in a lot of ways, you don't want their help. And that is the core message of this book.
That's a terrible message. That is a terrible, naive, pathetic message for a book. And that's not what Joker was about. That's not what Joker was about. That's not what Joker was about. It wasn't even about the bourgeoisie. It wasn't even about the rich. It was about the everyday people being held down by their own social stigma, their own social structure. And how it takes one man who doesn't have the same mental thought process as the normal person, somebody who is mentally ill and who is tired of the social stigma, is tired of being beaten down, rises up to start a revolution against the norm, against societal oppression. Had nothing to do with bourgeoisie. You're fucking dumb.
The Cattle Have Fangs demonstrates the nobility of normal people living their normal lives. It demonstrates how normal people can fight back against such a tyrannical billionaire, and it concludes in the only way this possibly can.
The book not even being written to begin with? So you're telling me you didn't write the book to begin with? Because that would be great. I'd love to hear that, but I know that's not the case.
The novel is rapidly approaching completion. I am putting a lot of time and energy into making this book as memorable as possible. And
oh, it'll be memorable, but not for the reasons you want it to be. And my question is, are you using Word? Are you using any kind of tool that will help you spell properly? That will help you use proper punctuation? No? No? Okay. Then what does it matter? Morning, Chris Wolf.
And I fully intend to deliver the best book I possibly can. So
no, you're not. You're not going to deliver jack shit. I think he's written at least 4. No, he's written like 6 or 7. 6 or 7. Something like that. It also makes you wonder if Joker was the right person after he snapped. Yeah, right? Right.
How exactly does The Cattle Have Fangs fit into the timeline of the Golden Age? How exactly does it tie into other books in the Harman Smith bibliography?
Do I care? I'm ready to skip the rest of this. Do I fucking care? Because I really don't fucking care. And what has he got next for me? Baby. Oh, Bubsy. The Bubsy video. Oh. Time and energy translation. Being weird about blonde women and other shit I'm not gonna go into here, rather than giving a shit about grammar. Exactly. Exactly, Oleander. You're right on point with that. Right on point.
There are actually quite a lot of ties to other books in the series, even if they aren't obvious. The most blatant among them, I think, is the presence of Amaris Yu. You know, one of the protagonists of Cruel and Beautiful,
who is tied into American Evil.
An overarching antagonist for the character of Soleil Freeman from American Evil. And
Soleil Freeman. That's how you pronounce her name. I don't think that's how you actually pronounce it. You're fucking stupid.
One of my personal favorite characters.
Yes, because you wish she was real and she would fuck you. And she won't. She wouldn't touch you with a 1,000-foot pole. Because you're disgusting.
Amaris Yu does appear in The Cattle Have Fangs and does play a very big role. This story takes place, it begins in the year 2020. It begins immediately after American Evil ends. And
who called it? Who called it as the sequel to American Evil? I did. I did. Gross.
And it follows what Amaris Yu does after the events of Cruel and Beautiful, which of course took place in 2016. In essence, this is both a sequel to Cruel and Beautiful and to American Evil, and follows the events that will transpire between American Evil and the sequel, The Many Deaths of Soleil Freeman.
Is that the next book you're writing? Why are you continuing to write when you write such absolute dog shit? He thinks himself a poet, chat. He thinks himself a poet and a philosopher.
This will be a stopgap title that exists to flesh out Amaris Yu's character further and to demonstrate some of her unique powers, abilities, and her methods, like what she does to get what she wants. Hardcore fans may already be aware.
There are no hardcore fans, you absolute fucking buffoon. Your books are a plague upon the earth. They are a plague upon my channel. And I do not look forward to having to read another one if my community so chooses to fuck me over like that.
Well aware that Amaris Yu has an extremely fleshed out backstory that goes back hundreds of years. And
Wait. Todd, you're joking. His AI YouTube shorts did well compared to Quentin Tarantino's film career. So he's bad at reading, writing, and math. Fuck me sideways.
has appeared in some capacity in almost all of my books up to this point, but this will be the first time in which you get to see her at her full capacity.
Why did you have to pause there? Did your brain short circuit because you know you're bullshitting? Did your brain short circuit because you know you're bullshitting? That you're lying?
It is something that I've been building up to for a long time, and am very excited to demonstrate.
Why do you have to pause so often? Why do you have to pause so often, Harman? Reading, writing, math, speaking, editing, all of these things he's bad at. The school system left him behind, Battle Puppet. He is the picture of how No Child Left Behind failed.
Right, this character's true nature to you. One of the things that some people were not able to pick up on. And
what's some people? Because I don't think anybody besides me and maybe two other people has read most of your books. If any of them at all. And I've only touched one. That's not surprising, Cutie Darkness. That's not surprising. I do apologize, but one quote from Joker in The Dark Knight be here. You see their morals, their code. It is a bad joke. Drop the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world. It's a good line.
When it came to Cruel and Beautiful, was that like the character doesn't typically be.
And also, Cutie Darkness. So is Solio Friedman. A lot of his female characters that are protagonists that are his favorites are Mary Sue's. Because the only way that they would ever touch him is if in his ideal fantasy world.
Behave like that. This is more in line with how the character has always intended to be portrayed, who she actually is, and
how she was always intended to be portrayed. So you mean that you have a terrible sense of writing your characters and you can't put your thoughts onto paper because your thoughts are shit?
what she actually does and what that means for the world and for the storyline going forward. Amaris Yu at this stage is probably one of the most important characters in the canon and should be thought of as someone to watch going forward.
Why? Why? Why should I give a fuck? The only reason I didn't even touch your book to begin with was because I was paid to do so. And again, chat, you can add another 30 minutes to the timer if we hit 400 on the goal. So it's like $17. Harman's brain is processing worse than Windows Vista. Windows Vista is Turing complete compared to fucking Harman's brain. Yep. He admitted it. He is bad in a roundabout way. Yes, he did. He did. He 100% did.
Although this story does take place in continuity, it is a Golden Age novel. It does not directly correlate to any other Harman Smith book, any other novel in the Golden.
Any other. He knows that he's shit. He fucking knows it. The Freudian slips are there.
Age franchise. MRSU is present, but this takes place in a different part of the country than American Evil. It doesn't follow any other characters. Every character.
It doesn't follow other characters, but it has some of your favorite characters in it. The ones that you want to fuck. Tell me you're dumb without telling me you're dumb.
In this story.
He's really struggling to find things to talk about. Because he knows it's ass. He knows it's ass.
Other than MRSU, is completely original to The Cattle Have Fangs.
So they all have shitty names. They all are your kinks personified. And they all can't be written for shit. And they're not realistic in any way whatsoever. Even if you are writing a science fiction novel.
And this story, I think, will give a unique perspective on the state of the world in the Golden Age and what that means for normal, ordinary people.
I like how he calls it the Golden Age, thinking that it's anything good. Delusion. Thy name is Harman Smith.
The Cattle Have Fangs is the perfect example of what I intend to do with that concept, in which it does take place in the setting. It is technically a fantasy setting, but that isn't overtly obvious simply by reading the text.
So... Again, Freudian slip of you saying that your thing is shit. Your writing is shit. Your ideas are shit. I could write better stories than you, Harman. Oh my fucking god. Fuck. Fuck.
If you understand the lore, if you understand the Golden Age, if you understand the character of MRSU, it is very obviously fantasy. But I think a lot of people going into this for
You literally just said that it's not obvious that it's a fantasy novel. And now you're saying that it is obvious. Which one is it, Harman? This could have been like a 2-minute video. But you're too full of yourself, aren't you?
for the first time may not understand.
William Giacello, this is the writer of the book that I had to read. We are watching, reacting, and tearing into this fucker because he is absolutely dog shit.
Understand that and may think this story is not in line with what everything else I produced up to this point.
Then why is it in the same universe? If it is not aligned with everything you've written previously, why is it part of the quote-unquote golden age? Good morning, Spectre.
This is, in a lot of ways, an evolution of what I attempted to do with Rabbit Hole, a martial arts story that took place in the setting, but featured no fantasy elements.
I can't roll my eyes or blink any slower. This could have been 2 minutes. This could have been 2 minutes. But you continue to shoot yourself in the foot thinking that you sound in any way intelligent.
Whatsoever. You know, that was far more grounded, relatable.
Like, anything you write could be in any way relatable, Harman. Because if I'm being told all of your shit is worse than what I read, and what I read was dog shit, at best, that tells me none of it is relatable. because you don't live in the same reality, because you don't talk to people, because they don't like you.
Like, no fantasy elements at all. The Cattle Have Fangs does feature some fantasy elements, but a lot of them are very downplayed and not focused on.
I know, he looks like he's in a cemetery. It's the end of his career. Will, what you ask? What career? You're right. There is none. It's like beating a dead horse.
As a result of that, the story feels like a proper evolution of what I tried to do with Rabbit Hole, where the characters are more grounded. They feel as if they're actual people, and
lies. The lie detector determined that was a lie.
They feel as if it's something that we could experience in our day-to-day lives.
You don't know what day-to-day lives look like for normal people because you're not a normal person. You are a dog shit human being. You are, I can't say subhuman because that is beyond rude. And I'm better than you, so I shouldn't sink to your level. But you are garbage. So you wouldn't know what normal looks like. Not even close to normal. I wouldn't even say that I'm normal, but I know what normal looks like. I live in this reality. You don't.
Currently hard at work on finishing up The Cattle Have Fangs and beginning my editing process, which...
What editing process? You don't look at anything.
Which is probably going to take 3 to 4 months.
Oh, so I might not have to read this at all. This might not come out until, like, next year. I highly doubt that. He's probably not going to even look at it.
Possible that the book could be out by the end of 2025, but at this stage, I am considering delaying it to early 2026. I fully intend for this book to be the best I've ever produced, and I hope that all of you enjoy when it finally releases.
I won't. The only thing I will enjoy if I have to read it is tearing into it. That is all. Oh, and he looks even greasier. Bubsy the Bobcat is bigger than Crash Bandicoot. Crash is trash. Oh boy. You think Crash Bandicoot is trash when Crash Bandicoot and Spyro are the reason 1 and 2 of why the PS1 became as big as it is and why the PlayStation took off. Editing process, translation, looking up corn on the cob, playing the Nintendo, and coping and seething. Yes. Because he didn't shower for longer. He doesn't shower. We know this, guys.
With the new Bubsy game on the horizon, Bubsy 4D, I do think it is time that we start acknowledging the truth. We start acknowledging the reality of the situation, that Bubsy the Bobcat is an enduring 3D mascot character, that he continues to get games, that...
Let's do a little research, shall we, chat? Let's do a tiny bit of research. Let's do that. John McLovin, thanks for the $4.99. All right, boys, we got a year. Let's get her to 3K. I would love to be at 3K, my dude. Or are you talking about 3K and donos? Because that would be great too. If you're talking about subs, that would be great. Oh, both are great. Both are great ideas. Horror, what drugs is Harman smoking so I could avoid it? Oh, I don't think he's smoking anything. He's got pure brain rot. Pure brain rot. That's all he's got. Let's do a little bit, a teeny tiny bit of research here. Bubsy the Cat video games. Now, I'm not gonna tear into Bubsy, really, because my husband loves Bubsy. That's fine. I don't care. What I care about is the fact that Harman thinks Bubsy is more popular than fucking Bandicoot. It's wrong. So Bubsy has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. Which includes 4D. Crash Bandicoot games. Crash Bandicoot has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Do I need to go on? Do I need to keep going? Do I need to keep going? Crash Bandicoot has not only revolutionized the fucking PlayStation genre in general, it has endured much more than Bubsy has. If you want to call it enduring, Crash Bandicoot tops Bubsy all day, every day. Because the general... I know about Croc better than I know about Bubsy. So what are you talking about?
They're on par with what Sonic the Hedgehog is doing. Bubsy the Bobcat should be considered a relevant 3D platforming mascot character because...
Why? Explain to me why. Just because he's Sonic? Just because he's like Sonic? And Sonic was originally a Sega title. So why do you care? It's not originally a Nintendo property. Why do you care?
This thing has endured over the decades to still get new releases today.
Not nearly as many as Crash. Not nearly as many as Crash. Not nearly. Not even in the same realm. Not even close. Not even close.
Which is very interesting because considering how Crash Bandicoot is not that. How Crash Bandicoot has never been able to get consistent releases.
What do you mean, Harman? I just saw 30 plus games that have gotten releases from Crash Bandicoot. Bubsy's gotten 6. Do you know what consistency means? Do you know what that means? You're using all of these words, but you don't know you don't understand the meaning of them. Doing this sober is a detriment to my brain.
How his games have never been well received. How nobody gives a shit about Crash.
Hold on. Crash Bandicoot games, sales, figures. Give me the sales figures. Oh, so the Insane Trilogy getting 20 million sales isn't proper. It doesn't show that people care. Okay. We'll see what the original Crash Bandicoot games looks like. Crash Bandicoot, the original game, almost 7 million. Crash Bandicoot 2, 4 million. Crash Bandicoot Warped, 5 million. Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, 20 million. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, 10 million. And Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, over 5 million. What does Bubsy's look like? Bubsy's sales figures. Bubsy game sales figures. Oh, so Bubsy, one of the last games that's come up, 6,000 people bought it. Let's look again. Let's look at what they have in the Super Nintendo system. Let's see what SNES figures are. What are the sales figures for it? Oh, so Bubsy Paws on Fire, another game that's come out recently, only made 40K gross. You want me to keep going? I'll keep going. Let me keep going. Bubsy 3D for PlayStation. What are the sales for this? I think we've got the idea. There isn't any basis to what you're saying. You're only saying it because it was initially a Nintendo property. That's the only reason you're talking about Bubsy.
Crash outside of the original trilogy. How Crash is
Crash has made 5 million plus sales. Bubsy has not. Bubsy is niche in comparison to Crash Bandicoot. People know who Crash Bandicoot is. People don't know who Bubsy is.
just this completely dead IP with no real momentum behind it.
Dead IP that is continuing to make stuff. Is continuing to make games that sell upwards of 5 million. I don't know what you're talking about. What reality do you live in? What reality do you live in, Harman? Because it's not ours.
You know, like Crash Bandicoot is a dead IP while Bubsy thrives. And
Where? As a meme? As a meme? Let's take this a little bit further. Let's go check what stuff on Steam looks like. Because I know Steam has Bubsy games on it. Let's look. Let's see what the difference is. Bubsy was dead until the late 2010s. Exactly. Bubsy died and got brought back. Yeah. Yeah. Harman is dumb. That is exactly correct. Chaos Raziel. That is 100% correct. He's beyond stupid. He's beyond stupid. Bubsy. How many of these have been sold? Bubsy Steam sales figures. Oh, look. Let's find out. On Steam alone. On Steam alone. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good, my dude. It is very not good. There's only one person that's playing Bubsy Woolly Strike Back. How many of these were sold? Not very many, clearly. There's only one person's playing it. Thank you for the 5-inch shadow. I still remember Donkey roasting Bubsy in his Game Critics Suck video. Yep. That tells, if it's in a video game Donkey video, that tells you everything. Tells you everything. Nobody's buying this game. Nobody's buying these games. Nobody's buying these games. What are you talking about, Harman? What are you talking about?
I do want to take a moment to kind of emphasize what this means, because this is something that like I think we do as a community need to like really acknowledge, that we really need to admit to ourselves. Bubsy the Bobcat is a better video game mascot than Crash Bandicoot.
How? It's not. He's not. I can give Bubsy credit. He's funny. He's definitely something else. But is he better than Crash? Absolutely not. And none of the data supports what you're saying. None of the data. And everybody else is telling you you're stupid. You know you contradict yourself when you make one video about Bubsy within 6 years of your YouTube life because Gamescom showed a trailer. Meanwhile, you made around 5 to 6 videos about Crash Bandicoot and maybe mentioned 30 to 40 times on your stream. End him. Blur was here. End him. End him.
Bubsy has more personality. He has actual gimmicks to the character.
What? Can you tell me what those are? Because I know you're not going to be able to. No, you're not going to be able to.
Has like, you know, his own setting and world. He has like a specific tone he goes for. You know, the games are reasonably good. You know,
Are they? Because there's 181 views for this one game and they're mixed. So what do you mean? Whatever cocaine you're snorting, you need to stop snorting it because it's not helping you.
They were ambitious with Bubsy 3D being a full 3D platformer when Crash Bandicoot was just this weird, like isometric, like pseudo 3D, Crash Bandicoot wasn't really a 3D platform. So like,
Hold on. Was Crash Bandicoot a 3D platform game? Google says otherwise. Google says otherwise. And Bubsy 3D was ass. AVGN went over how bad it was. I know how many he has. Tariq. You wanna know why I know? Because everybody else covers it. I don't need to. Everybody else has covered that. I don't need to.
like Bubsy 3D was this hugely influential, like popular, like genre-defining game. You know,
Was it? Because I've heard completely otherwise. The Angry Video Game Nerd says otherwise. If your game is so ass that it's on AVGN, that it's an entire episode for AVGN, I think you're wrong. Also, clean your walls, bro.
now where the developers tried to create a platforming game in a 3D space with their iconic Bobcat character. You know, like Bubsy 3D, like actually grew and evolved the video game industry.
No, it didn't. If you want to pull out a 3D video game that drove the industry, it was Mario 64. It was not Bubsy. Your main guy is what did it. Not Bubsy. Not even close. Not even close.
It has a place in history. You cannot say that for anything Crash Bandicoot related. Whenever Crash Bandicoot comes up, it's always the same argument that like, well, he was big in the 90s. Well, the PlayStation won that console generation. Neither of which are true, of course.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? The coping that you are doing right now is beyond the pale, Harman. C-Stars Pipple up for the 2. Harman Smith needs to lay off the Texas shoe shine. You mean moonshine? Moonshine? That'll get you. $5 and I have to add 30 minutes to the stream, guys. We are almost to another 30 minutes, which would suck. I bet your farts smell really bad because it's destroying your brain cells.
But therein lies my point, is that Crash Bandicoot is not popular because people actually played the games or like them. Like, Crash Bandicoot is popular because PlayStation fanboys pretended he was popular.
Like you're doing right now with Bubsy? You do realize that you're looking into a mirror when you're talking right now, don't you? Which one? The one that you put, like, a while ago? Yeah, I did. Bubsy probably has the same popularity as the Pittsburgh Pirates TLDR awful team. Thank you for the 5 again. Their best player is literally that Bugatti and a crack home pick. You're right. You're right. Harman. Buddy. Pal. Compadre. You are beyond huffing your own farts. You are beyond it. Everything you have said has no basis to it. You are coping and seething for another 5 minutes straight. You are outing yourself and your own tendencies on a video. On camera. In 4K that everybody can see. And this needs to get banned. Banned. Good fucking God.
That they really levied this guy up to the same level of Sonic and Mario, when in reality this guy isn't even.
He is like the Sonic of the PlayStation. Spyro is like the Mario of the PlayStation. Those guys wreaked havoc during that generation. I dare to say it was better than the 64. The PS1 era was better than the 64. And the PS2 bodied the GameCube and Xbox. Bodied. I would hazard to say... No, actually, I wouldn't hazard to say. It's true. The PS2 era was the best console era ever. Because the PS2 is the best console that was ever made. With the 360 coming up second to me. And the Switch maybe third. Cope. Seethe. Spin. Just everything. Everything, bro.
Even like third place. Like, in reality, he's in like dead last. You know, nobody knows.
Over 20 million people knew Crash Bandicoot enough to buy the Insane Trilogy. The remake. We'll see how many people buy Bubsy. We'll see. We'll see.
Crash. Nobody talks about him. Nobody remembers anything about him. You know, the setting, the world, like his origin.
Nobody remembers anything about Bubsy. We know almost anything about. Anything about Bubsy. We don't know anything about him. My husband might, but that's because he played it as a meme. He thinks it's hilarious. But if I were to even ask him, are Bubsy and Crash Bandicoot even comparable? He's going to say no. Crash Bandicoot bodies Bubsy any day of the week. He's a normal gamer. He's a normal hardcore gamer. He doesn't do the Salt Boy shit. He doesn't do the PlayStation fanboy or Xbox fanboyism or PC Master Race bullshit. He just plays games and enjoys them. Although he is primarily PC. You're fucking stupid.
Origin story that developers, like, how many people do you even know that like this was a Universal IP, not a PlayStation IP?
I'm sorry. You do realize that they sold Bubsy to PlayStation. Right? Oh my god, you're retarded.
Like, how many people do you know who like acknowledges this wasn't like an internal like PlayStation thing? Like Crash is the earliest example I can think of of Sony like astroturfing a brand into relevancy.
You're astroturfing Bubsy into relevancy right now. If you actually gave a fuck about Bubsy, you would have been talking about him well before this. You would have said something about him well before this. The only reason you're saying anything right now is because he's got another game coming out. Actually, let's look at this. Who owns the Bubsy IP? Atari SA. Who owns Atari? It's not. It's definitely not Nintendo. Atari owns that shit. Who owns it now? It's acquired by Hasbro. It's not even owned by Nintendo anywhere near it. Because yeah, it is Atari, and Atari is owned by Hasbro. So Harman, why are you bitching? Because he started on the Nintendo? Is that why? Is that why you're bitching and complaining?
Because nobody played Crash Bandicoot back in the day. Nobody thought it was.
Are you kidding me? I played Crash Bandicoot Warped over and over and over again. That shit was baller. What are you talking about?
Was better than what Nintendo was doing at the time. Nobody.
A what? Back in the day, the cool kids had PlayStation 1s. Not N64s. Every cool kid that I knew that was in the know had a fucking PlayStation 1. What are you talking about?
Nobody with any ounce of credibility.
You have credibility? You think you have credibility. You think you have credibility. Guys, we need another 700 subscribers on this channel because I cannot have less subscribers than this fucker. This absolute twat waffle who has no brain cells bouncing around in his head.
Like, looked at that character, looked at that game, and thought it was like some huge genre-defining thing. Like,
it was. It was. Crash Bandicoot and Spyro paved the way for Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Dexter. And you have no idea how beloved those games are. Those IPs are. Cite your sources, motherfucker, because I know you can't.
Anybody who knew what they were talking about were playing Donkey Kong Country. They were playing Mario 64. They were playing...
Only because my parents didn't get me a PlayStation. Neo J, that just makes me even stronger and even cooler because I don't need alcohol to deal with this shit. I don't need alcohol to deal with this bullshit. Because I know he's dumb. All he does is spew asinine drivel. He has no sources. He has no brain cells. He doesn't have a single original thought in his head. He's a contrarian that sucks the cock of Nintendo. That's all he does.
Playing like Ocarina of Time. They were not playing Crash 3 and its weird wave race.
I was playing it. I go to my friend's house just to fucking play it. All the time. Are you kidding? I lost my shit every time I got to play Warped. every time, and it never got old for me. It still hasn't gotten old for me. Agreed. Or I was like, I liked Spyro better than I liked Crash, but I still loved Crash.
Rip-off minigame. You know, they weren't playing like Crash Tag Team Racing, which is just a knockoff of Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing only got one fucking game, and while I agree Diddy Kong Racing was fucking awesome, Crash Bandicoot has had multiple racing games that have come back even within the last 5 fucking years. Hold on. Hold my beer. Hold my beer. Fucking Crash Team Racing is huge. Where's Diddy Kong Racing? Where is it? Where is it? There's another Diddy Kong Racing, because I don't see it. How many racing games are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 racing games. Actually, no. There's 7 racing games. Because one was on another console. Oh! Crash was on the Game Boy! Uh-oh, Harman! Uh-oh! 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 I think you're wrong. Uh-oh.
You know, they weren't bothering with this like half-assed mascot character that looks like a cereal box mascot.
So does Bubsy. They both look like they're fucking furry bait cereal box fucking mascots. They're choosing not to use Diddy for his own games after certain events. That's true. That's true. But good God. Harman, I just blew your ass out of the water. You said it wasn't, Crash didn't transition among platforms. Game Boy. Game Boy Advance. Steam. Also, hi, Pidgey. Pidgey.
Okay, like, nobody cares about Crash Bandicoot.
Brash. Nobody cares about Brash. He's bringing himself into a rage. He's spiraling himself up into a rage, and I'm loving watching it. I need some fucking chocolate. I'm losing my mind.
The only reason people talk about this asshole today is because millennials were sold a remastered version of the original.
You Freudian slipped? Boomer, you Freudian slipped. You're upset because Crash got a girlfriend. You're upset because Spyro got a girlfriend. You can't get one. Oh, he is. He is William. None of this is put on. He's this mad. He's this mads. He's this big mads. He's so big mads. He's so beyond big mads. You are a 40-year-old man losing his mind over a PlayStation character. I would sit down, old man.
Original trilogy, bought it, pretended the game was like the Dark Souls of platformers, and then proceeded not to...
Oh. Yep. Right there. He has an issue. Because Crash Bandicoot overshadowed his favorite little baby platformer IPs. Oh, boo-hoo, Harman. why, like a little baby bitch. Also, we're still $5 away from adding 30 minutes to the timer. Just so y'all know.
To buy the sequel. Proceeded to not buy Crash Bash. You know,
And they bought Bubsy games? Because sales figures say otherwise.
No, Crash Team Rumble, excuse me. Like, you can keep...
Can't even put the right shit up. Hold on. I'm curious. I love this. You've had this up for over a year, almost 2 years. Nobody subscribed to you. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody loves you, Harman. Nobody. Big meds. Big meds.
Crash games straight
Big
because they're all
meds.
so terrible. Like Crash Team Rumble. You know, they put out new Crash games after that original trilogy remastered. Like, and there was just no interest in them. None.
It's not true. If there was no interest, they wouldn't have kept making them. There were Crash games that I played well into the PlayStation 2 era. What are you talking about?
And fanboys love to chalk it up to, like, development decisions, like redesigning Tana, and, like, you know, just the genre of Team Rumble in general. But, like, the reality is Crash just has no potential for growth.
Bubsy doesn't grow at all. It is a niche. It has always been a niche. It's gonna stay a niche. It's not gonna catch fire. Period. $20 per question. Nobody's gonna pay him. Hell, I'll do a Q&A. And I won't pay you shit. I won't make you pay shit unless it's something more personal. If it's a personal question, then I'll have to make you pay. But if it's anything else, anything that's regarding like true crime or gaming or anything like that, I'll answer that for free. I don't give a fuck. But if you want to know personal shit, you're gonna have to pay me. Which is fair.
Like, nobody cares about Crash other than people who, like, owned a PlayStation but did not own a Nintendo 64.
Hey, Harman, I've got at least 17 people here. 18 if you include me. Who care? You've got 9 people that gave a shit about your video. Oops. Oops.
Or back in the 90s. You know, like, that's the issue. That's the core problem that people have with Crash. Like, that's the problem with this brand, is that, like, people aren't in.
A main problem with Crash? I mean, your main problem with Crash. Oh, poor little Harman has his feelings hurt because something is better than his baby. Oh. Oh, baby. Look, can we get 4 more likes so that I can have more likes on this stream than he has on this video? That'd be great. Let's do that, guys. Let's stick it to Harman. Let's stick it in his face. Rub his little nose in it.
Interested in this series as a concept. Like, something like Mario can reinvent itself constantly. Like, it can go from 2D to 3D. It can be a kart racer. It can be a party game. Like, Mario succeeds.
Bubsy can't do that. Bubsy can't do that. Because he doesn't like people like that, Oleander. He doesn't like that people are smarter, more intelligent than him, are more intellectually sound, are more open to trying other things than him. He also doesn't like that most people that can play multiple systems actually get laid. Just saying.
And all of that, you know, it's even branched out into strategy and RPGs at this point. Like, but Crash could never escape the PlayStation hellscape that he was like spawned in.
Was Crash Bandicoot on other gaming platforms? Gee. I wonder. Wrath of Cortex was on PS2 and Xbox and GameCube. Oh. Crash of the Titans, PS2, Xbox 360, Wii, PSP. Crash Mind Over Mutant, PS2, PSP, Xbox 360, the Wii. The fourth one, PS5, PSX and S, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. I'll keep going. Crash Bandicoot, The Huge Adventure, purely on Game Boy Advance. Crash Bandicoot 2, Entranced, Game Boy Advance. Crash Bandicoot Purple, Ripto's Rage. A crossover with Spyro, Game Boy Advance. Crash of the Titans, Nintendo DS. Crash of the Titans again, Game Boy Advance. Crash Mind Over Mutant was also on the Nintendo DS. Crash Nitro Kart, PS2, Xbox, GameCube. Was also on the Game Boy Advance. Can I keep going? Do I need to keep going? Do I need to keep going? It's transcended all of them. It's transcended all platforms, been all the made platforms. Why? Because he's memorable. He's relevant. Where's Bubsy at? Where's Bubsy? Where's Bubsy? Where's my Bubsy? Where's the Bubsy cat? Nowhere.
Into, you know, like he could never get out of like those narrow corridors, like just the repetitive gameplay, the lousy level design. Like nobody who has actually committed himself to beating these games would ever call them great platforms. And I think that's just, I think that it's very telling how something like Bubsy seems to have more genuine enthusiasm.
Oh, Harman, look at that. Oh, we've got 10 likes on this stream. You've got 9 likes on this video. Oh, no. What does that say about you? Oh, right. People only watch you because you're fucking stupid and they want to laugh.
And hype behind it than something like Crash Bandicoot, because people actually played Bubsy. You know, people actually...
Do they? I've never played Bubsy. Has anybody in this chat played Bubsy besides maybe 1 or 2 people? Is anybody in this chat at all familiar with Bubsy or the lore of Bubsy? Because I haven't. I have never played a single Bubsy game. Never played a single one. I know of Bubsy, never played him. Never cared to. Nobody I knew ever played it. So I don't know what Harman's talking about. So what are you talking about, Harman? Okay. Most of my chat, I've got 2 people. 2 people who've played a Bubsy game. Harman, you're wrong.
People actually like know the character. The character actually has an identity.
Nobody does. Nobody knows it.
He has a...
Which is what? Which is what? You keep saying he has these things, but you won't actually explain or elaborate.
vibe. You know, he's actually notorious for one reason and one reason alone, in that he sucks. But that in and of
Oh, there you go. There you go. 8 minutes to come down to Bubsy fucking sucks. Let's hear that again, chat.
Notorious for one reason and one reason alone. He has a vibe, you know. He's actually notorious for one reason and one reason alone, in that he sucks, but that in and of itself makes it endearing. You know, Crash.
Bubsy is way more. I see what he's. I know why. I know why he's upset. He identifies with Bubsy. He identifies with Bubsy. And he knows that he identifies with Bubsy because he knows he sucks and he knows he's a terrible human being and no one likes him. Oh, Harman. Oh, Harman, you're outing yourself. Oh. Thank you for showing us exactly what you think about yourself. I'm glad that you can self-reflect and realize you're a fucking retard. Good for you, head pats. Actually, no head pats. I don't want to touch your greasy-ass hair.
Doesn't even have that. You know, Crash falls short of Bubsy in every single conceivable metric.
Nope. Nope. I proved that's not true. I proved already. Crash has got more sales than Bubsy ever has. Got more games. More people give a shit. You talk about Crash way more than you talk about Bubsy. It's even been said in your comments.
Crash Bandicoot is complete trash. You know, trash.
No. Crash Bandicoot is an icon. Crash Bandicoot is an absolute icon. And if you go to normies and you ask if you know who Bubsy is, they're going to say no. But if you go to a normie, they know who Crash is. Mm-hmm.
Crash Bandicoot, you know, trash in the can. Like it's like, who have been fooling themselves over the past 30 years? Like, I've seen the developers.
What sentence was that? What sentence? That makes sense to me. No. Whatever line of logic you went through in that sentence didn't make any sense. Duh. You want to try that again?
Like, try and claim that they were bigger than Mario in the 90s. You know,
nobody's ever said that he's bigger than Mario. Nobody. That's stupid. Everybody who's everybody, even people who've never played a video game in their lives, know who Mario is. We wouldn't be stupid enough to try and say that Crash Bandicoot would body Mario in any way, shape, or form. Nobody.
I've seen them claim that they innovated, like, you know, basic platforming mechanics, and they really do need to be called out for this, because I think Bubsy has done far more for the platforming genre than Crash ever has.
The only thing that it's done is show you not to do. It's showing you what not to do, especially with Bubsy 3D. Especially. Now we know what not to do. That's it. That's all Bubsy's got. Do not do this.
At the very least, they showed everyone how not to make a 3D platformer. Bubsy the Bobcat is an iconic video game character, and Crash Bandicoot is not.
You're so dumb. Okay, we've got another AI thing from him. We got another AI thing from him regarding this that I have to look at. Wow, you think Bubsy the Bobcat bodies Rayman, Mega Man, Banjo and Kazooie? Are you insane? Are you insane? He thinks. Not even close, my dude. Not even close. Bubsy cannot touch them. Bubsy can't touch them. Crash Bandicoot bodies the fuck out of Bubsy all day, every day. Harman, the fact that you rely so heavily on fucking AI tells me everything I need to know about you. Okay, what do I want to go to next? Do I give a shit about you Tech USA? No. Do I care about any of this shit? No. I guess we'll do
Metal
this.
Gear Solid Delta has failed.
Has it? It's made a lot of sales. Also, I will be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. We are almost 30 minutes to closing. We hit the $400 goal. We'll add another 30 minutes to it. But I'll be right back. Oh, I'm back now. Okay. We back. Okay, I'm back now. Oh my god. Man, this is just so bad. I'm just glad that the one person that really wanted this to happen hasn't shown up. I'm so shocked. I'm so shocked.
And now it's time that we process why. What exactly has happened with this remake? Why exactly are hardcore fans like myself avoiding it? And
You're a hardcore fan of Metal Gear. Does anybody believe that? Because I don't. I don't believe he's a hardcore fan whatsoever. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that one bit. Not one fucking bit.
why exactly are game journos turning their backs on Hideo Kojima's masterwork? So to recap,
Oh, I know. I know he's a busy man. But he knew this was happening today, and this is what he wanted so badly. And it's gonna be over before he can even show up and do anything. Nobody believes this. Nobody believes this at all. Right, Battle Puppet? I don't think he is. I don't think he is.
I have not played Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. I haven't seen a whole lot of it.
Then why are you talking? Then why are you talking? Then why are you talking? If you've not played it, you haven't seen much about it, why are you talking?
I didn't even know it was coming out this week. I really thought it would be coming out like later in the year, but I suppose this year has just flown by. This remake to me, right from the get-go, felt completely pointless because
Remaking the biggest game of the Metal Gear series is not pointless. Far from it. You're fucking dumb.
Metal Gear Solid 3 was just released on the Metal Gear Solid Collection. That was the bundled in with other Metal Gear games that give you the full context of the story and the characters and all of that. And everything we saw from
I'm with Red Chaos here. I highly doubt you know anything about the Metal Gear series. I'm not going to claim that I do. I don't understand jack or shit, and I've watched plenty of lore videos trying to explain it to me. I don't get it. It's fucking confusing. It's too much for my little pea brain to get. But you don't even have a brain. And yet somehow you want to claim to be a fan. I highly doubt it. I love this. As someone who hasn't played the game, seen the game, or know anything about the game, allow me to explain. The failure of X explained by Cody Lee. The company behind X wasn't Nintendo. That's their first and biggest mistake. Love it. People are saying they've played it. It hasn't failed. Oh, you're such a dumbass. You're such a dumbass. You really are. You really are.
Metal Gear Delta going into
Isn't the poster in the background from MGS3? And he wants to complain about the remake fake fan. Oh, we know he's a fake fan. We know. We know he's a fake fan.
To it seems to indicate that the developers didn't really have any idea of.
And also, I can argue that people will like a poster or like some art and won't be a fan of whatever that belongs to. I know plenty of people who have art of games and anime and TV shows they've never watched. He probably just thinks it's cool. And bought it because it looks cool.
What they wanted to do. So
Harman has no brain whatsoever because he has destroyed it beyond repair after binge watching Pokemon Prawn and Princess Peach Toot Toot ASMR videos while failing at games. You're not wrong, Piplup. You're not wrong.
instead of a proper remake that really improves on and expands on the original release, it is more like a remaster, honestly, because
It's a remake. Do you know what a difference between a remaster and a remake is? I don't think you do. I don't think you do.
everything I've seen from it seems to indicate that the gameplay is the same, the plot's the same, the voice acting is the same. You know, it feels almost as if the developers were scared.
Wait, hold up.
Remaster, honestly, because everything I've seen from it seems to indicate that the gameplay is the same, the plot's the same, the voice acting is the same. You know, it feels almost as if the developers were scared to move away from the original script to
Yes, because it's a fucking remake, you goddamn idiot. Let me... Definition of remake. To make again or anew. The act of remaking. You're stupid.
evolve it to do anything new, original, and exciting. And there's a reason for that, because they knew that if they did anything to change the plot or the story, Kojima fans would have immediately been up in arms about it.
Yes, because they have put it out as a remake of the most beloved Metal Gear game put to disc. It would not be a remake if they changed it whatsoever. Do you not understand definitions of things? Do you not understand concepts? Exactly, William. You have to stay as close to the original as possible in order for it to be a remake. Anybody in your chat, in your comment section, stating that you have a correct take here is dumb and didn't even look 2 minutes into this fucking video. You don't have any concept of what a remake is. You don't understand the difference between a remaster and a remake. You don't understand anything about the series. And anybody who says otherwise in your comment section is fucking brain dead. Because, homie, let me tell you, if they said they were going to remake the Mario RPG game for the Switch, and it's a completely different game with a completely different story, you would be up in arms. If they said they were going to remake Super Mario World 3 or Ocarina of Time, and it's a completely different story, you would be up in arms. So why are you talking? Why are you talking, Harman? ¿Por qué? Cállate la boca. Cállate.
And I myself said the same thing. The only time I was ever optimistic that this game might be good was because they were keeping the original voice actors. And it's not necessarily because I think the original game is flawless or that it couldn't be expanded on. Like, I just have absolutely no faith in Konami to improve on
Konami? Konami. Konami. A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U, dumbass. Waste
or
of
do
breath.
anything new with Metal Gear Solid 3.
It would be a different game if you wanted them to do something different with Metal Gear Solid 3. Oh my god, Harman. Oh my god.
Harman Smith, my problem with this remake has always been like what the point of it all was.
To remake it for a newer audience who's never played the Metal Gear Solid trilogy. That's the point. Oh, and money, Harman. Money. God, you're fucking stupid.
Because it didn't feel like this was being re-released for a new audience. This didn't feel like it was made for new fans.
How would you know? You didn't play it. You didn't watch anything for it. How would you know?
Like, why could they not just stick with the original release? Why?
Because money. Are you... I'm gonna crash out.
Could they not just produce a new game? And from my perspective, you know, what I would have done as a creator is, if you're gonna remake Metal Gear Solid 3, which is the earliest game in the timeline, if you're gonna remake Metal Gear Solid 3, you should have remade it to keep everything that happened afterward. You should have implemented those elements.
You can't even explain what you would do, because you can't do anything else. You don't have the brain power nor the brain capacity. So do me a favor, shut the fuck up.
And made it more cohesive and more interesting. You know, there were a lot of lore changes in, you know, Peace Walker and Metal Gear Solid 5 and things
like what? Like what? Tell me the changes. Tell me the lore changes. I'm waiting, Harman. I'm waiting.
Of that nature that could have been like blended in a lot better with Metal Gear Solid 3, because I think it's very clear, considering like how those games turned out, that a lot of things in MGS3 weren't necessarily planned out ahead of time and don't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. In fact,
how would you know? I read one of your books. There was no forethought from you other than one twist. There was no proper cohesion in your book whatsoever. You couldn't convey an idea to save your life. So you, wanting to have a say on how Kojima's work is adapted or readapted, is asinine. It's beyond asinine. It's fucking stupid. You're fucking stupid. Shut the fuck up.
That's kind of how I would have approached these Metal Gear remakes in general, is like, there were always lots of weird, like, lore inconsistencies and, like...
No shit. If you knew any... I never played any of the games. And even I know that Kojima's story with Metal Gear overall is a mess. He is M. Night Shyamalan on crack. You've got a problem with that suddenly now? You suddenly have a problem with that, but you're a hardcore fan? That doesn't make any sense.
Weird details about, like, these games, especially in Metal Gear.
Did you fuck up somewhere? Did your audio fuck up? Your camera seems to keep focusing and unfocusing. What's going on, Harman? You want to tell us?
Gear Solid 1 going from, like, considering how it's a reboot, but the original games are still canon. You know,
Not a reboot.
There was, I think, considering how long it's been since Metal Gear Solid 1's release, I really have to ask, why didn't they remake Metal Gear Solid 1 first?
Because Metal Gear Solid 3 was the beginning of the storyline. It was the genesis. It's the big beginning. It's the big bang for all of the things that happen in Metal Gear. If they're gonna start remaking shit, you're gonna make the first part of the fucking trilogy over again. Then you'll start getting the other ones. In fact, if they were smart, they would continue to remake the games in chronological order of how the timeline moves. They were smart. Because that way people who don't have any familiarity with the series would be able to follow along a lot better. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Because I don't think I am. I think I'm dead on. I'm dead fucking spot on there. See? I know better than you. I know business acumen better than you. I have way better ideas than you do, Harman. You're just stupid. You're beyond stupid. And all 26 people who liked the video, this particular video, are stupid along with you.
Why didn't they take that game, improve on it, and do new things with that instead of just doing this paper-thin, transparent remastering of...
It's not a remaster. It's a remake. It's a remake. And it's not paper thin. From the people that I understand, who are actual dead-ass hardcore fans of the Metal Gear Solid series, and all Metal Gear games in general, they've said that this remake has lived up to the original. Yes, there are some issues with the game and how it plays. That's just the nature of how the gaming industry is now, which fucking sucks. But I've heard nothing but good things about how it is masterfully done. My husband loved it. I bought it for him. I bought it for him for his birthday. A long while ago. As far as I know, he fucking loved it. And he's a massive Metal Gear Solid fan. He's a massive Metal Gear fan. That fucker can spit lore and lines like nobody's business. So what are you talking about, Harman? Because I don't even think you know.
Metal Gear Solid 3. There are, as a fan, a lot of other things that I would have rather seen them do.
And you are the one absolute retard out of the bunch that speaks the loudest. Nobody agrees with you. Nobody of note agrees with you. So shut up.
Than this. I do think that the Metal Gear IP is kind of stagnant and hasn't really grown and evolved past Kojima's vision.
Yeah, because Kojima's not there anymore. He was the heart and soul of that series. He's not there anymore. He's doing Death Stranding now. It is very hard to expand off of the shit that the Genesis creator of that game there. You can't make it without him being there. So all they can do is remake. Cuz it's not going to be Kojima's work anymore. Metal Gear is Kojima. Period. And Konami made the biggest mistake they could have possibly made by losing him. They fucked up royally. They did. And if you didn't understand that as a hardcore fan, quote unquote, you're not a hardcore fan. I'm not a hardcore fan, and I understand that.
I do think, in a sense, Kojima has been a major reason why this IP has stopped developing after Metal Gear Solid 3. Because after Metal Gear Solid 3 is when Kojima started taking more power at Konami, that he started becoming more influential, that Westerners knew his name, that he was considered this big game design guru, which really, if you look into it even a little bit, isn't exactly true.
Give me reasons why, Harman. Explain. Explain. Because Kojima is quite literally a master of his craft. He is in the same vein as Yoko Taro. anything that comes out from them, people are going to swarm to because it's good. Even if it's confusing. It's good. If you don't understand that and you think he is overrated, then you should say that Mario and Zelda are overrated. Because that's your thought process. That's the line of logic you're going with. And the reason why Kojima had more influence as time went on is because he made Konami buku bucks. Buku dollars. Mas dinero. God, you're so fucking stupid. We got less than 20 minutes on the clock. Let's go.
I think most video games, well, all video games are designed by entire teams of people, all of whom contribute their own talents and sensibilities. And weirdly enough, I think Kojima takes credit for a lot of the things other people do.
Because he's the vision. He's the one that created the IP. He's the originator of the story. He's the one that wrote the fucking story. His vision is what turned into the game. He directed the shit. That's as asinine as you saying that Nintendo shouldn't get credit for games that they publish and are a part of making. God fucking damn it.
Especially when it comes to like the script and the story and the themes and stuff like that. You know, playing Metal Gear Solid 2 again, I was shocked by how all the memorable, interesting things that people remember about the game, you know, the good aspects that stick with people and that people like, you know, point to as an example of how great Metal Gear Solid 2 actually is. A lot of those were made.
Do you want to elaborate on what those are? Can you list them? Because I don't think you can. See, this is your problem. This is the problem of a lot of you weird-ass fanboys. Is that you're gonna make an argument, but you don't actually add any meat and potatoes to your argument. Your argument is paper thin. You have nothing to back anything you say up. Nothing. Whatsoever. You just make these grandiose statements as without any points to back it up. And you want people to trust you, bro. So transparent.
Made by the codec writer who was not Kojima. You know, like when you see the cinematics and you see how lazy and poorly written they are, and then compare them to like the very well nuanced, paced, engaging like codec conversations, like the difference is palpable.
How? How is it palpable? How is it different? You're not going to explain it because you can't.
Like in Metal Gear Solid 2. And that's just one example that I've noticed replaying these games in recent years. But like Metal Gear.
You mean the first time playing it? Because I don't think you played it outside of the one trilogy you got on the Switch. Hi, Christian Live. Welcome. God, you're so dumb.
Put Kojima on a pedestal so much and defined him as like the visionary for the franchise that it really limited Konami's ability to do anything new with the brand going forward.
Because the brand is Kojima, you fucking imbecile. The brand is Kojima.
From the perspective of a fan, the reason the Metal Gear IP has fallen off in recent years, actually in the past 20 years, I don't think they've produced a good Metal Gear game since Metal Gear Solid 3. The reason Metal Gear has fallen off in recent years is because that they stopped producing good video games. And
I'm gonna disagree with you heavily because I've heard nothing but good things about every single one of the games that came out of Metal Gear Solid 3. It came out after Metal Gear Solid 3. And clearly Kojima is still enjoyed because Death Stranding 1 and 2 have been hits. So, Cope, mold, seethe, sit, and spin, Harman.
All of that is entirely on Hideo Kojima and his decisions while he was at Konami. There is no getting around it. There is no avoiding it. That is the reality of the situation.
You don't live in reality. You keep saying it's the reality of the situation, but you don't live in reality itself. You're in this weird brainchild of a reality that you have. This weird dystopian reality where everything that is patently true is false. That everything has to be contrary because in your mind it makes sense. Oh my god, you are insufferable.
But of course, as we know, that is like a hardcore fan perspective. You know,
No, it's not. You're not a hardcore fan. You're not. You do not speak for them. You don't speak for them, Harman. You are not the voice of the voiceless. You are not the CM Punk of Metal Gear. You are a little chode that doesn't bathe, that doesn't shower, that nobody likes, sitting in your mother's basement crying about gaming takes that are objectively true and saying they're not. You're a contrarian of the highest degree.
why are normies getting upset about Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta? You know, why are they not like worshiping this game the way they did, say, Silent Hill 2 remake or
Because Silent Hill 2 remake was made with better quality. It was better optimized. Whereas what I understand is this Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake or Delta, whatever you want to, Metal Gear Solid 3 remake was poorly optimized. And you know why that is? It's because Konami has stopped giving a fuck about optimizing their games properly. If they optimize the games properly, they would not be shitting out and having glitches and problems. That's why.
Resident Evil 4 remake, both of which were like just abysmally terrible and were just
What was that again? I'm sorry. You said they were abysmally terrible? Thank you for proving that you have absolutely no taste in video games. You don't understand what good storytelling is. You don't understand what good quality gaming is, Harman. And therefore, none of your takes should be given any sort of credence. Thanks, bye.
just
Almost 10
completely
minutes.
disrespected the original work. And
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. What are you talking about? No, they didn't. The Resident Evil 4 remake was applauded for being a good remake of the original. Silent Hill 2 was given its flowers as a phenomenal remake of the original. They kept true to the originals. They kept to the heart and soul of them, and therefore the fans loved it. And you don't like that, so you're gonna cry.
all the effort that went into creating those masterpieces. You know, why is Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta different in that regard? Why are critics being a bit more cagey with this release than they are other remakes? You know, what exactly is going on here? Well,
Oh my god, you've got such fat fucking fingers. I bet your hand gets stuck in the Pringles container every single time you try to go for the bottom Pringles.
the video game journalism industry, at least in the West, I'm sure it's a little bit different in Japan.
You don't understand how Japanese culture is. You would get kicked out so fucking fast. Nobody would like you. Nobody. So I would probably shut your fucking mouth, Harman.
In the West, there is this major push to kind of deify Hideo Kojima and prop him up as like the greatest game designer in the world, you know.
Nobody's saying he's the greatest designer in the world. He is one of the greatest. He is one of the greatest minds in gaming, period. But he's not the greatest. He's one of them. And the fact that he left Metal Gear Solid and left Konami and made bangers like Death Stranding 1 and 2 tells you everything you need to know. Because there are a lot of huge, influential gaming minds that have left one series to make another, and that other series flopped like a motherfucker. That hasn't happened with Kojima.
He is the Hollywood type there. He is cutting edge. He's an innovator, man.
He is. He always has been. He probably always will be. The fact that you want to say jack shit about Kojima and shit all over his name tells me everything I need to know and tells me you are not a Metal Gear fan. You are a tourist. You are a poser. And you just want something to cry about.
He's a genius. He's a genius, man. He's a mad genius. You know, like, video game journalists threw all of their weight behind supporting Hideo Kojima 10 years ago with the failure of Metal Gear Solid 5, right?
Was Metal Gear Solid 5 a failure? Metal Gear Solid 5 sales. Oh, so it's a failure. It's a failure when it was the best-selling Metal Gear series game. Let's see what it says on Steam. Metal Gear Solid 5. Is it not on? Oh, it is. Okay, it is. I just have it. 39,000, almost 40,000 reviews on Steam alone. It is very positive. And has remained very positive over the last 10 years. What do we have for Metacritic scores? IGN rated a 10, a masterpiece. Metacritic, 93. Universal acclaim. Generally favorable for 7,000 reviews. Does that sound like a fail to you? I don't think it does. What does GameSpot say? What did GameSpot say? Come on. What did GameSpot say? Oh, it's an essential game to play. That doesn't sound like a failure to me. That sounds like it was a resounding success. You don't live in reality, Harman. You live in a fairy tale.
A game that had a budget higher than Grand Theft Auto 5, apparently.
Wait, I doubt that. I doubt that. I really doubt that. Hold on. Metal Gear Solid 5 budget. 80 million. GTA 5 budget. 265 million for GTA 5. That's more than triple Metal Gear's budget. Where are you getting this from, Harman? I'm bodying you left, right, and center. Left, right, and center. You have not gotten a single correct point the entire 2 hours I've been streaming. And I've got less than 5 minutes to keep roasting you. We're not going to finish this video, but I am going to continue to body you. And I'm not a Metal Gear Solid fan. A non-fan, a normie in the comparison to Metal Gear Solid fanatics, is bodying your ass. What does that say about you? It doesn't look good, does it, Harman? A woman who's not a hardcore Metal Gear Solid fan is bodying you. And I'm enjoying it.
Metal Gear Solid 5 was the last time Konami was really taken seriously or respected by the video game industry.
Hold on. All Konami games since Metal Gear Solid 5. Let's check that. All Konami games since 2015. Silent Hill 2 Remake came out. Everybody loved it. What are you talking about? What are we're about to have Silent Hill Townfall. We're about to have Silent Hill F, which is gonna be phenomenal. What else do we got here? They did a compilation of Castlevania Requiem, which had Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood. Good games. They've done both. They've done multiple collections that have been amazing. Yu-Gi-Oh is still huge. That comes from Konami. So what are you talking about, Harman? What are you talking about? I don't think you even know. 2.5 minutes.
3 at large. Right. Like, Konami has been written off and ignored because of the Hideo Kojima situation.
No, because everybody's still excited about Silent Hill games. The Yu-Gi-Oh community still loves the games that come from Konami. You're a joke.
Nobody was happy about Kojima leaving Konami at the time. You know, nobody was happy.
Nobody's ever been happy about that. Nobody. Because Konami's biggest player was Metal Gear. And with the loss of Kojima, Metal Gear is gone. All you can do is make remakes. All you can do.
With that situation. But Game Journos made the conscious decision to support Hideo Kojima throughout this situation. You know,
yes, because he deserved the support. He's still making great games. I'm beyond excited for the horror game he's got coming out. You bet your ass I'm going to play it on stream.
Kojima established his new studio. Sony partnered with him. You know, he made a new gaming IP, Death Stranding. And all along the way, game journos were sitting there worshiping him and acting like Kojima could do no wrong and that nothing was... and that everything was going to be great and that Death Stranding...
It has been. Death Stranding has been a hit. What are you talking about?
was going to be an IP that was just as good or better than Metal Gear Solid, right? That was the mindset that Game Journos took going into this, is that they sided with Kojima wholeheartedly and propped up the image of him.
What? You couldn't even edit that correctly? You couldn't edit that correctly. Holy shit, Harman, you're a fucking dumbass. And we're pretty much done, guys. So, we're not gonna listen to the rest of his retarded ramble. I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. I'm gonna be releasing the video for today for the newest upload as soon as I am done here. So until next time,